Listen carefully to these first words, because if you've come this far, it's possible that you're tired of running after things that always seem to slip away when you want them most. What no one tells you is that the moment you start chasing, you're already losing. And what's even more curious is that the more you try to hold on to someone, the faster that person seemed to disappear between your fingers. Life has a strange dynamic. When you beg, it closes. When you release, it opens. Today you will discover why relaxing is not giving up, but activating a silent force that turns your energy into a magnet. As you continue, you will understand why what hasn't arrived yet is not a punishment, but a natural consequence of the pressure you didn't know you were applying. Stay with me, because the third key of this process will make you see your relationships, your desires, and your inner peace with a clarity you may never have experienced before. The ancient philosophers understood that chasing is born from lack. They taught that the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life, and that whoever desperately needs to be seen hands their freedom over to someone else's judgment. When you cling, you tell the world that you are not enough on your own. When you relax, you recover your center. The mind softens, the body releases tension, and your energy stops scattering. This is not magic, it is nature. Emptiness attracts, pressure repels. That is why those who stop demanding attention end up receiving more of it, and that is why those who try to convince others of their worth often push them away. Calm is not passivity, it is mastery, and from today on, you will begin to reclaim yours. The first law is radical detachment. It doesn't mean coldness or emotional indifference. It means releasing the need to control how and when others should respond. When you chase, you place your well-being in the hands of someone who cannot sustain it. When you let go, you reclaim the power over your inner life. Picture yourself as a hunter who doesn't run desperately after the prey, but becomes part of the environment. Stillness attracts more than noise. When you stop radiating anxiety, the other person stops feeling pressured and the dynamic shifts, not because you're manipulating, but because you've stopped acting from urgency. The second law is emotional self-sufficiency. It is the state in which you no longer need anyone to confirm your value before you can feel at peace. When your mood no longer depends on a message, a call, or a gesture, your energy rises. You stop vibrating in scarcity and begin vibrating in abundance. People sense this difference with surprising clarity. They don't fall in love with what you say, but with how they feel next to someone who does not crumble without attention. A person who needs nothing becomes magnetic, and that magnetism cannot be faked. It only appears when you abandon the desire to be validated. The third law is the silence of power. In a world screaming for attention, silence becomes an act of strength. Silence is not emptiness, it is a response filled with dignity. When you stop justifying yourself, stop asking for explanations, stop begging for clarity, you are sending a profound message. My peace is not negotiable. Disappearing for a while from the radar of those who ignore you is not manipulation, it is emotional independence. Let others feel your absence. Let them notice that you no longer orbit around them. Absence weighs more than 1,000 words, and whoever truly valued your energy will feel it. At this point, I want to remind you of something important. If you want the words in this video to truly transform your life, subscribe to DVT Lucas. Building the habit of consuming content that strengthens your inner peace is a decision that shapes your emotional maturity. Do it now and continue building that version of yourself who no longer begs for attention. Sometimes you feel an urge to explain yourself to someone who has emotionally withdrawn or to someone whose attitude toward you has changed without warning. The natural impulse is to justify, to seek clarity, to prove that you deserve consideration. But every word spoken from anxiety sends a silent message of fragility. True strength appears when you are able to remain silent, not as punishment, but as protection of your dignity. Whoever does not recognize your value loses your presence. You lose nothing by preserving your calm. In social environments, the strategy is the same. Do not force yourself into a circle that does not see you. Dedicate so much energy to your growth that your brilliance becomes impossible to ignore. And when life places you in that period of waiting where nothing seems to move, remember nature has its own timing. Seeds sprout when they are ready. Your task is to strengthen yourself, not to force the weather. To maintain this mindset, you need a routine, a daily structure that keeps you firm even when the world tries to shake you. Step 1. The dawn of control. When you wake up, don't pick up your phone. Don't look for external signs. Spend a few minutes visualizing your day as protected territory. If the message arrives, remain neutral. If it doesn't arrive, remain neutral. Your peace is the reward. Step 2. Voluntary fatigue. A strong body supports a steady mind. When you train and push your muscles to their limit, you teach your mind that discomfort does not defeat you. So when emotional silence appears, your body will remember that you have already endured far more challenging sensations. Step 3. The death of the ego. Ask yourself at midday whether what is disturbing you today will matter 5 years from now. Most of your anxiety does not come from love, but from an ego wounded by the idea of being ignored. When the ego dies, the urge to chase dies with it. Step 4. The fasting of attention. Avoid posting just to catch someone's eye. Avoid indirect messages, disguised signals, silent requests for validation. Someone who does not beg for attention becomes a mystery, and mystery attracts more than any performance. Step 5. The examination of conscience. Before going to sleep, review your day. Did you chase? Did you beg? Did you betray your own calm for crumbs of attention? If so, forgive yourself, but commit to being stronger tomorrow. Philosophy is not meant to be read, it is meant to be lived. As you apply these 5 steps, you will feel the weight lifting from your shoulders. Your mind will stop inventing scenarios that wound you. You will realize that what belongs to you never moves away because of your calm, only because of your anxiety. Magnetism appears when you no longer need to cling to anything. It appears when you can say with a peaceful soul, "It would be good to have this, but I don't need it to be myself." And if after all this, what you want still doesn't arrive, it is because you no longer need it. The real victory is not someone returning or an opportunity showing up. The real victory is that when these things happen, you will no longer be the desperate person you once were. Life opens to those who no longer beg. Peace comes to those who no longer demand. What is yours will come because there is nothing in you left to repel it through fear or desperation. I want to take a moment to deeply thank the members of this channel. You are not just viewers, you are the foundation that sustains this community. Thanks to your support, this space exists, grows, and reaches more people who need to restore their inner peace. It is you who make the creation of meaningful, consistent, and transformative content possible. But I also want to make something very clear. Even if you cannot become a member, your presence still matters. Every comment, every minute you dedicate to your growth strengthens this project in ways you may never realize. You are all an essential part of this community. And if one day you choose to become a member, it won't just be support for the channel. It will be a silent declaration that you value your growth and are willing to take a step further on your inner journey. Here, every member matters. Every member transforms. And you can be one of them if you choose. If you've made it this far, you belong to that small group of people who truly want to transform life from the inside out. Subscribe to Stoic Spring to continue strengthening your inner peace and building the daily habit that shapes emotional maturity. And leave the word "free" in the comments if today you decide to abandon pursuits forever and become the center of your own gravity.